It is Tuesday. Oh, did you miss it? Oh, I'm already done? No, not already done. Anyway, this is the painting from Friday up at the mountain. Apologize, I'm late. I was working late and forgot it was Tuesday and put some meat on the grill, and it's still on the grill. I have to go rescue it here in a few minutes. And so I wanted to show you last Friday's painting. Boy, it's a big painting. You gotta move it back a little. Look at that. Get the glare off of it there, dumb boy. And so we'll show a few spots on it. There's the waterfall. Now that is the mountains in Gatlinburg, but that is not the river in Gatlinburg, although I suppose someplace at some point it was. But as I started the mountains in Gatlinburg, it started to rain. So it was time for a real watercolor painting, and the painting just started to run down the canvas. Oh, so we have got, tonight is for some, tonight is touch-up night. I don't think we can do anything with that one, although that's a nice cabin with the blue river in the background. We'll think of something with that one. And then that one's just a thing, and that one is, ooh, that's doable. Uh-oh, these two are stuck together. Oh, that's not good. Never supposed to get them stuck together like that.
That's why we put the paper in between them or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were putting, I don't know what happened.
They just got stacked over here. Even if you put them front to back, they're okay. But when you put latex to latex, the acrylic to acrylic, it does cause a little bit of trouble. This is the one I was looking for too. I wanted to fix my Purple Mountain's Majesty in the back a little bit. It's actually quite close to being done here. And then we have a mistake there where the paint,
something got stuck on it.
Yep, that would pull the paint off right there. But that's what you get when you live in an RV. God's providing a better place for us where I won't make mistakes like that, because we did qualify for a home, and we did find one that we were able to put a bid on. We're not the top bidder.
I just posted it.
Oh, okay. Joy just posted. So the real estate agent didn't say like, well, we're next. You know, she just said they are working on the details with the seller is working some details out with the buyer, and if those details do not work out, they will contact her, our real estate agent. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So that made Donny feel like we were next in line.
We're next in line, and you never know. And I know for a fact of a long time of believing God for things, that when things don't work out, you look at God. You don't look at each other, and you don't look at somebody else, and you don't look at your agent, you don't look at anything. You look at God and say, okay, God, what you doing? What's going on? What can I believe for? Sometimes you have to ask God what you're supposed to believe for. You know, sometimes he puts it, you know, it's like, you know, it's in your heart, you know what you're thinking. But other times you're just like, I just don't know what to believe for anymore. So now this painting's a real mess. Clouds are beautiful though. So I thought we'll work from there on that one. And then this has a wonderful foreground, beautiful trees down here. This doesn't make sense, and this doesn't make sense, and this, oh, I love the Purple Mountain's Majesty. The only thing that I'm having trouble with is, where is my horizon line? Where does this like blue water ocean stop? You know, does it stop here and then this is sky, or are we at a higher angle looking over the mountains to more ocean out there? Is that a wave? Is this a wave, or is this more clouds? You know, so it's obviously waves aren't that big unless they're a tsunami. Tsunami painting. My friend from
Mrs. Virginia said sometimes, even if you aren't the high bidder, if you write a nice letter to the owner and explain the situation, that will win you the contract. We actually did that on the previous one.
And we did not include it in this one.
We didn't put it for this one, but we did in.
But we should have.
We should have, but we did.
We
but I don't know. It was
forgot.
bank. It was a bank. That's why it wasn't an.
Oh.
It wasn't an owner.
Homeowner.
So it might not
Still.
have made a difference on this one because this one was bank foreclosed on. So the owner of the home.
Yeah, they're out of the picture.
Yeah, except
We're just
for
strictly
the fact,
talking to a bank.
except for the fact that
That would have been good, though.
that we were told.
For Mrs. Virginia, you're right.
Yeah, Mrs. Virginia,
We
you were
forgot.
right. But we were told that it used to belong to a veteran, but I think that veteran has passed away, and then his wife possibly couldn't fulfill the payments or something on the home, and it was foreclosed on. And she was trying to get the house back. She's trying to get all of her family members to come together and bid on the house. So we don't know if that was the winning bid or not, because we already went several $1,000s above the asking price from the bank. Which was what kind of more than we want to pay on a monthly.
Yeah, it's more than we can pay, really.
More than we want to pay.
Yeah.
But the bank, no, the VA said that we could pay that. We just want to have.
And of course, you know, you
we wanna have
refinance in
money
a couple
on the
years.
side, you know, to be able to still do the stuff we do.
Yes,
So
we
we
can't
weren't trying
spend.
to be.
We can't spend everything on a house payment.
Yes, we weren't trying to spend.
And I haven't
everything.
had good work for 3 weeks. I've been back working on the campground.
Yeah, pray for
and,
Donny's to have his.
Get the work schedule going in.
It's
It
good
shouldn't
work
take
again,
but another
because-
week or so before it comes back.
It's been 3 weeks
It's
or
been
more
at least 3 weeks, yeah.
that Donny has not worked his job.
Yeah,
It's
and it's cost us.
the boss doesn't have an issue with him. It's just that
He got too busy with plumbing
he was doing a
and
bunch of things, and he was trying to pay his taxes and do different stuff. So
and he was just so far
he-
behind on paperwork.
he had to take a break from doing some of these extra jobs that he had Donny on. He started doing his plumbing jobs for the
So-
last several weeks.
Yeah, it was. You know, and that's the way it is in this business. You don't
And
criticize
sometimes
people.
Donny can get side jobs, you know. So
Yep.
just pray for Donny to have his work. It could be. Now this is barely showing your video. I mean your painting. You're showing.
You could have just told me to move it down.
Honey,
You
I'm
didn't
just
have
trying to-
jump up.
Yes, I'm trying to get it to be on your painting.
So I've been working at the campground. They have
I think I'm gonna move it back just a little bit more because I want it to be on your painting.
5 bathrooms at this campground has those 5 outside bathrooms. They're for all the campers to use. Anybody can use them, and so they've been really overused, and the floor paint's chipping and all kinds of stuff. So, and I went in there and they had 2 of them that weren't even open because they were clogged or damaged or something. And one was clogged and the other one had another issue with it. So I got in there and painted and opened up 2 new bathrooms.
Donny sent me this thing, and I kind of adapted it as my own and posted it because it said slightly different words, but basically the same thing. So go ahead and read that, what you sent me today.
What I sent you?
Wait, what you sent me, yeah. You sent me this.
You must be okay with not being liked. No matter how loving you are, you can never people please into full acceptance. Because you can be a very good ray of sunshine, and the people who choose to live, but people who choose to live like a rain cloud will dislike you. So bring your umbrella and shine happy, smiling, laughing, regardless.
He sent me that.
I,
It had slightly different words. Somebody posted it.
yeah.
Mrs. Virginia said she loves the purple
Yeah.
moments. That's one of her favorite colors.
Purple mountains, majesty, above the fruited plain.
So I posted that. It said, you must be okay with not being liked. No matter how loving you are, you can never people please into full acceptance, because you can be a ray of sunshine and the people who choose to live like a rain cloud will dislike you. So bring your umbrella and shine happy, smiling, laughing, regardless. And I said, I posted that and I said, friends, let's pray happiness. Carry on. I said, carry on, my sunshiny friends. Let's pray happiness on the rain clouds out there trying to bring us down.
Let's pray happiness
On the rain clouds.
on the rain cloud. That's called seeding the clouds, huh? You could call that seeding the clouds.
Mrs. Virginia said, how true.
There was a story about a happy little rain cloud or something like that, wasn't there?
I mean, Mrs. Virginia knows, she doesn't personally know, Shannon, but she knows Shannon, well enough by watching her on YouTube and stuff. And Shannon has just got such a happy personality, and, a sweet, disposition. But see, there were people out there that don't like a sweet disposition, that'll just want to be a rain cloud on a happy person, And that's the same thing with Sean Husky. He laughs all the time. He's a happy person. He tries to stay happy as much as he can, and just laugh things off.
Yeah.
And he's got that
Hello, my dear.
self-deprecating personality, where he just makes fun of himself even, But there's people out there that cannot stand that. And I have told him many times, just keep laughing and smiling, Sean, because that's what's helping you grow your channel. You just keep laughing and smiling, because it doesn't matter if the people out there don't understand you or whatever, just be happy and do your thing,
Be happy. Doopa-doopa-doo-doo. Don't worry. Be happy.
Jimmy said he's been waiting. For some reason, he does not get notifications on when we go live. We've heard that a lot.
Yep.
We've heard that a lot. And I had the same issue when some of my friends went live. I didn't get notifications
Be happy.
of their live chat, so.
Good to see you anyway, my friend.
What I always tell, what I try to tell our friends that view our YouTube channel, or even whoever else they view, I try to tell them, YouTube's got this two places. When you go on YouTube, YouTube sends you first to the suggested videos to watch. The suggested videos may not even be who you're subscribed to. It may have a few of the videos from people you're subscribed to, but not necessarily the ones you really are subscribed to. So you kind of got to move from that spot over to subscriptions. And at that point, when you hit subscriptions, then it'll show you everybody that you're subscribed to that posted a new video. And you can just look through it that way and see what's out there and what you want to watch. That's what I have to do, because otherwise the home page is the suggested by YouTube, and it could be a lot of videos that you're not even subscribed to. That's how they changed it like a year or two ago. Mrs. Virginia said she'll be right back.
So my imagination is taking this ugly section over here and putting down the backside of a tree, plus a few of the little brighter trees behind it. I wish I hadn't blocked it in so much. I'd like a little bit more light to come through, but I messed up on that. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and but we'll see about that. We can make things work a little better. And then now I'm working on a few repairs, trying to get some lighter browns. I've noticed, anybody else noticed this, but I've noticed a lot of my paintings are very dark in color. Not a lot of bright colors. Which, you know, it's normal for a sunset, sunrise. You know, it's not like I'm looking to change how I paint or anything, or I'm disappointed in how I paint. I just wondered if anybody noticed that a lot of my paintings are dark. Because I just noticed that. So I kind of touched the white to the high side of this little rundown here. That gives me some rocks, and see, we've got the creek running right here. And I think I might just expand this creek a little bit to drop over this rock too, see? And then, but leave that dark spot there and let that run over. And put a few more little light splashes in like that, just to bring a little bit more life to the water. And I'm just enjoying myself. It's like if I can catch what it is the painting is. Honestly, I really think paintings are already assigned to what they're gonna be, and they know it. Well, of course not, but it seems like the painting does know where it's going and what it wants to be, and I'm just trying to help it get there. You know, that's not a bad way of saying it. But then we'll put one more. We're gonna put one more little drizzle of water right down here, down the middle, and then we're gonna brighten that up a little bit right at the edge, so that it looks kind of splashy. And by puffing up some extra white right here, it kind of looks like a curve in the sunlight for the water. And oh, that's doing wonderful. That's doing wonderful. We're going to put one there, and we're going to put one here, and over here, like that. And that's got to touch the bottom, though. It's got to touch down here. You need a little bit more, a little bit of a splash at the bottom. Don't forget your splash at the bottom. Okay, now we'll take that brush, get it wet, and we're gonna go right back into the white again with that brush, because that seems to have just the right touch for our water. So we want to put a little bit right up here and a little bit right up here to catch that water coming off. And then we're going to put some there and right there because that water is pooling up a little bit right there. Looks like there's a little waterfall right here that needed some extra, and then here and there. So each one of these is bringing out a little bit more of the depth or the height maybe of this mountain stream, which is hiding behind these trees. As soon as these trees get a little bit drier, we're going to put some front branches on those. So that looks really good. There we go. We're just showing a waterfall through the trees there. That looks really good. And then we're gonna put a little bit of white down here. Very, very, very good. Now this top piece of this rock looks really good. I like it, but the rest of it needs a little help. So we're going to take some black and some white and some brown. Okay, you know, we might. Maybe we need...
Everybody pray for the safety over there in Ohio for Nancy, our treasured home, because Ryan Hall, y'all, was live streaming the storms that went through Indiana are heading into Ohio now.
Okay, so I've got my brown, my black, my white, maybe a little green, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to find that, there it is. We're just mixing brown, black, and green, looking for your basic rock color, something that would catch the light, but yet not be white. So we have to kind of put the gray in there and then touch it again with the gray and the white to get I want to say like a sun bleach. You know, the top of a rock is going to be a little sun bleached. Going to be a different color. I've got going on my painting.
He just ran outside to grab his meat he had on the barbecue. Because he forgot it was Tuesday night today. And he was working late here at the campground doing work camping that which pays our lot rent to live here. And then he got back here and just started the barbecue and put his food on the barbecue real quick.
Too late.
So you burned your meat?
Yeah, but not yours.
Oh,
I just burned the hamburger.
he burned a hamburger.
In the hole. You can do
You
it.
kind of like your meat charred, as long as it's not charred on the inside. Donny likes burnt, like
I like
bread,
a burnt sandwich,
He likes
grilled cheese, yeah.
burnt grilled cheese and all that.
And I apologize for stepping away. But as I said, I started my grill and started my evening, not even remembering what day it was. I think that might have to do with I get itchy to paint when I'm only painting once a week. I can't wait to get to it, you know. But this week I painted on Friday, and so I guess that kind of filled my tank a little bit so that I wasn't quite so itchy in remembering like, oh, I've got to paint, I've got to paint. So now we move that same gray around a little bit on this rock so that we get the rock to come forward a little bit. And I like the drops, the things are, you know what I'd like to do is I'd like to know what brush or what I could do. There's these long streaks of green. Well, they just look like brush marks. And I thought, what could I do to these brush marks? I'm gonna try some green and some frog green, not a very light green, and some brown. Let's see what that looks like, you know. And then put some of that in there with it because, you know, it's just that rocks and things have moss on them. They're not smooth. They have bumps and they have stuff growing on them, and I think that would be, you know, helpful to put something that looks like it's not a part of the rock, that it's growing on the rock, and then of course that would make the rock look a little bit more realistic. What do you think? That's what I think. And if you get just, you know, if you get that moss and just the right, and you know, the thing about moss too is that moss catches the light and gives you a little bit more personality too. So don't feel like you can't have something jut out a little bit. I've made some mistakes on paintings that ended up being like a baby branch on a tree. I thought I was going to make a regular branch and it was way too small, but then all of a sudden I saw it as a little baby branch. It was like a little that had been broken off. There was one time I broke a branch off and didn't even know it until I was looking at the painting. I was like, oh, look at that. That looks like a broken branch. So it's always fun to see what's going to happen with these paintings and what's going to, and I kind of look for, like, see here, there's a dark line right there. I want to leave that shadow there, but I could actually come over here and bounce down that curve. See, if I bounce down this curve right here and do that, and then I do it over here, I'm getting some light to catch. And we've already got the dark spot. So that just, and see, I'm not doing a straight line. I'm doing a little bumpy line. Well, and I'm using the tip of the brush, trying to be a little bumpy, a little bit unpredictable. See, this is very dark here. We want that. But right after the dark or right before the dark, we want to bump in a little bit of color. And what that does is that brings this up and pushes that back. Boy, doesn't that look pretty? Isn't that interesting? I wonder what's in that cave right there. I wonder what's in there. And then, of course, while you're trying to catch the light, you try to catch the light on the same side of a rock, all the way to the edge of the painting, so that people will follow it with their eye and go, "Oop, yep, that's right." And if you miss a spot, you know it. I can tell I'm missing a spot right here. Like right here, I need to come down a little bit with that brighter green. Right there. And then there's this jutting sideways thing here, so that probably would have moss on it. Since it's more level, that probably would have some moss on it. So there you go. Isn't that awesome?
Blaine said, howdy friends, I just read the post praying God's will be done on the bidding because I just posted it.
Oh, thank you.
And,
Okay, so now we are watching out for our paintbrushes rolling off on the floor here. Be careful, Dolly. Some paintbrushes volunteer to get in the paint.
You know, one thing, if we get a property that allows it and has room, one thing we want to do is have a electrical hookup for an RV. So when we have friends that visit, come to the area, we actually could have a little space for them to park an RV on our property. We've done that before. When
We
were
did.
in Florida. We actually had it installed.
We've already done it once, yep. Some of my paintbrushes are missing. Well, we'll break out the new one. If anybody wants to know, this is my favorite brush. Not that it matters that I have a favorite brush or not,
Because he accidentally forgets to
but
get them.
yeah, I know. Well, the other day, this one, the one just like this one, rolled behind the thing, and I put all my brushes in the water, and the next day I found it back there. Poor thing. But I have a wire brush. I thought maybe I could do something with that. So we'll see. We will see. Okay. Yeah, because I'm a very efficient person. Like, it bothers me that I'm not able to use my charcoal efficiently, you know. But I made some great ribs for Joy. I just have to put them in the jet air to finish them before she can eat them.
Hi, Mrs. Murray.
I was in contact today with one of my previous customers in Florida. Her mother had had a stroke and was praying for her, and it was just the luck of the draw that I even called her. But I was doing something, and I said, "Oh, that is beautiful, beautiful." And when I heard myself say beautiful, that's how this Spanish lady, I think Ecuador or Salvador, no, not Ecuador, I think they were from Salvador, someplace South America. Her and her sister came up here when they were just girls, and now she's in her 80s or 90s, and they raised a wonderful family, and so, well, that's not light enough. That's not light enough. Let's go. You can't, you gotta be careful when it comes to greens. You gotta have the right yellow and the right green and the right thing, and then at the last second, that looks good. And then we're going to.
Mary said it's a beautiful painting, Donny.
Thank you. You know, have you been here the whole time? Because this is a fixer-upper tonight.
He's fixing.
We're
he's
doing
touching up
We're doing
a previous painting.
Yep. We want you to enjoy it too. Now we're putting on the front branches in front of these trees that are here, and you know, there's a couple back there, and then we take a little bit more of the bright, and we put it right there, and you can just see how putting out these few branches pushes that dark forest back in there. Now that's wonderful. So what that's doing is that's giving us a source. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing the source of a creek. Oh, and the cat's moving around. Oh, so's the husky. The cat's moving around, and which reminds me that my neighbor had to move, and so he gave his cat to the neighbor, and the neighbor doesn't want it, and the other neighbor doesn't want it, and so there's an extra cat in the neighborhood. And it's a sweet little black cat.
She's the one that was friendly with the husky.
I don't know if she knows the husky or not.
But there was one that was always coming over and grabbing the Husky's tail and was very friendly to the Husky.
Yeah, well, that's good. So hopefully they'll...
Mrs. Marie said, "This is awesome watching Donny bring a canvas to life."
Yeah, and there comes that one. Isn't that beautiful? Boy, okay, so we're coming out here. There's something right here. It's a little too dark right there. Maybe there should be just a few branches. A few branches right here.
Donny noticed on a couple of his paintings,
There.
after he let them set for a week or so, he said he felt like they were a little too dark
Yeah.
in some spots.
You know, just so I'm trying to put I'm putting like green paint on one side of the brush and black paint on the other side of the brush.
Here, I'm going to show this, like this one.
See, oh yeah.
Now, I thought this was really pretty, but he felt like it was too dark.
I mean, this is dark, that's dark, that's dark.
He
this
thought the
is
mountains were dark. He
Yeah.
thought it was
It
way
looks
too
great
dark.
at the time, but then when it dries, it seems to darken a little bit. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but that's what I was thinking. Just seemed like it was a little too much. And so I'm putting some distant trees over here on top of this little plateau. And they're coming over here to kind of populating right down in here. That kind of helps push that away a little bit. I can see that what we'll do is we'll go ahead and make this plateau again, and that will help those trees look a lot better than they do right now. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and bring these trees down. Black on one side, green on the other, black on one side, green on the other. Okay, we got the green, we got the black, and we're just gonna, let's see, we're gonna do green and black. I'm just gonna kind of dab these guys in. They're coming down the mountain here. And they're just kind of like, just a few of them, some higher than others.
Appreciate everyone.
There we go.
Praying for cousin Eddie too, because he was he had to go to the doctor yesterday for IV.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that.
And
Haven't heard anything today?
I haven't talked to him today because he had not been eating, and he was a bit dehydrated, I guess, and so they put him on an IV for the day yesterday.
So I'm lightening up the ground a little bit. I feel like when ground is a lot lighter and a lot hazier, it looks further away. So we're kind of putting that into the painting a little bit here. That kind of helps those trees. I think we'll take this up like here. Yeah, that's good. And then that rock right there, that helps. And we can push this a little bit over like that. That helps. Great, so we have squared this part away. This right here could use a little help, like if it's not gonna show the water, it's gotta be a definite growth or something going on there.
Mrs. Curry wants to know if you're giving this painting away. Sometime.
Shall we give it away to who's ever watching tonight?
Sometime.
We could call it the Fix It Night giveaway. Okay, so if we're going to do this, where there's a lot of foliage. Okay, so we've got a lot of foliage here. We got some flowers. We got a few things growing. Let's get some yellow. Let me show you how this is going to work. I just saw it. Oh, I like it when something happens that tells me what to do, because I want to know what's going on just as much as you do. I really do. And sometimes I have no idea what's going on. But this time,
I don't know if anybody else is like this, but it's like you got something and then a few minutes later you can't find it. That happens all the time.
I mean, within seconds it happens. I wish it only happened all the time. I wish it didn't happen every time. It just seems like every time. Okay, so that's a little bit too much, but wait till you see what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna put in some, I've lost my contrast here, so I've got to put in a little black. Did I lose my napkin? No, there it is. That's probably a sign of a
Hi, Annette.
inexperienced painter, how I will get into a brush and start doing an entire painting with the same brush just because it's comfortable in my hand and I like it. So this still wasn't working out the way I wanted it to.
Mrs. Virginia said she has no luck guessing numbers, so she can't win.
Yeah. Only the people that don't play can't win. Anybody else can. We promise. So what I've decided to do is make this like a little plateau, little thing right here. Okay. And then what you do, watch this, is we put a hole right there. Look at that hole. And that hole right there will explain why the water disappeared up here. Isn't that cool or what? Then you see the water coming out right there. And we might even expand this up here a little bit. Kind of make that pop out a little. There's a couple ways to do that. And yeah. See, and then all right, so now we have to leave the black hole alone until it dries to customize it a little bit, but we'll customize this hole, and then you'll see up here we are kind of going to make this area a little bit different and bring some more water down. So, all right. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. That's going to need help. That's all right. We're going to put a little bit, there's a little bit of color. Needs a little color right here. There we go. That looks better. And we've got, see, because we have a cliff right here. This cliff right here, kind of a brownish black. And what that does is that pushes back the trees to their correct size. Because right now those trees look a little bit, too small. But then if you put a cliff right here, did you hear about that guy that fell off the mountain? His name was Cliff.
Yes, he was a cliffhanger.
They don't know how that happened. What happened to him? How did he fall off the mountain? His name was Cliff. And I get paint all over me, I call myself Art. Okay.
Mrs. Marie complimented you, Donny. She said I would definitely buy this painting.
Aw. Speaking of that, we have been talking about what is my value. And Joy thinks it's a lot higher than I do, which is nice of her, very sweet of her. I have a hard time with those things.
Yeah.
I have gotten more self-esteem since painting up on the mountain.
Hi, Charlie and James. Let's pray. Let's pray for Donny because he has an issue with his self-esteem. When it comes to things like this, like his painting and whatever.
Because it's a gift, you know. It's not like I'm worked for years at it or
course,
something.
It's in his imagination still. He hasn't taken any lessons or anything. So a lot of times in his paintings, until the end of his painting, he's not very confident in his ability to put a painting together. And then sometimes even afterwards, after he's painted, like right at the end of his painting, sometimes he'll like it, but then sometimes the next day or whatever, he doesn't think it's that good. And so up there at the Sky Park, they wanted to pay him for his time, and he said, no, let's just take a couple of weeks, no pay, and just see how you like it, you know, and stuff. And so we've been just talking about like what it's worth to have an artist at an event like that, you know.
And a single number too, because we couldn't do hourly. We couldn't say, well, an artist is worth $50, $75, $100 an hour. They just wanted one number. What would you like for 3 hours? You know.
Yeah, and so Donny wants to come way down on what he thinks his worth is, and I don't want him to be way down, because this is the thing that he'll do. He will then, he's done this for years, he will diminish his value, and then he'll struggle and
because I don't have the money
in paying bills because he's diminished his value and doesn't think he's worth that. Even when he paints a house for people, you don't know, you have no idea how many times he has totally fixed somebody's what do you call it, job? Messed up job. These people sometimes will hire a painter or someone to do stain or whatever, and they have totally ruined the job. Totally ruined it. And Donny will come in because of his eye for color and matching and all of this kind of stuff. He will come in and he will totally fix what was botched, a botched job. And sometimes he just doesn't realize his value. He doesn't realize his value in being able to do all that. Mrs. Virginia said she can understand that. She lacks self-confidence.
It's kind of like, you know, you come in to paint 1 bedroom or 2 bedrooms, and you see what the last painter did, and you feel like you want to, you know, fix it, but you don't charge them. Because you're just fixing the last, you're not really, you know, just kind of like, as a favor, you're adding a little bit.
I mean, Donny would go do something for someone if they gave him a baked good. You know, I mean,
I work for cookies.
He really would. He really would do that because he likes to be a blessing, you know?
Yeah. I'd be the first guy with that piece of cardboard. I work for cookies. I work for food. Yeah. But and she's right though, it's to my own, And there are some people that as soon as they act like they need the money, I'll give them a bigger portion of the job. Because they just don't have any work and they have a family, and so I'll let them work with me.
If he hires someone to help him, he'll overpay them and strap himself.
Yeah, because they needed it.
Charlie said Donnie's a good man. He's making a difference in a world where it's much needed.
Much needed. Thank you. It is much needed.
And there's one thing, okay, both Donnie and I have this love language that is the same, which is words of affirmation. This is the thing with words of affirmation. You can build somebody up, and then there are times when you can be, what is that, constructive criticism? So we both have done that with each other. We have built each other up, but at the same time, we can give each other constructive criticism, and we've always done that our whole married life together. We've always been that way. And, but the bottom line is, even though we can give each other constructive criticism, we still know that we have each other's back. We are each other's best friend, and we build each other up. And that's why Donnie sent me that thing, that little verse, or what, that thing that he sent me, that I posted. He sent me that. I'm gonna find it again. What it says.
Yeah, read it again.
Yeah, it said, this is what he sent me, and now it was written much like I'm gonna read it, but it was written just slightly different words or whatever, but it had the basic concept of this, and I adapted it to my own. Donnie sent me this because he knows.
And you've been going through it.
Yeah, he knows I go through things.
Ooh, I just put water inside the tunnel with the shadows. See how that came out? Boy, that's beautiful. Yay, I'm so happy about that.
He knows I go through things and try real hard, and then I get criticism, or there's people out there that'll there's people out there that'll mock you, make fun of you. They will dislike you because of who you're kind to. Like if I'm kind to certain people that they don't like, they'll treat me badly because they don't like this person that I like, or that I'm kind to, that I'm loving to, that I'm friendly to, and stuff. And that kind of stuff happens out there, and and then maybe people don't like it that I deal with Asperger's, and that Donnie takes care of me. There's people out there. We were at Bigfoot Festival the other day, and there was a lady there, and she was divorced from her spouse, but yet she still loved and cared for her spouse, even though she was divorced.
Till he died.
He got cancer, and she went and took care of him until he died, and so she, but she told me that she has an older sister. She wanted her sister to come with her because it was like a girls' trip. It was her and her daughter and her granddaughter, and then she wanted her older sister to come along and have fun in Pigeon Forge and at the Bigfoot Festival and all this. And her sister said,
2 days, just 2 days.
Yeah, her sister said, "Oh, I can't do it because who's going to take care of my husband and fix him breakfast?" And she said, "Well, he'll fix his own breakfast. He can fix his own breakfast, and lunch and dinner. He can feed himself." And her sister goes, no, he can't do anything. He can't do that. I have, somebody has to take care of him and stuff. And I told her, I said, your sister probably wouldn't like me because Donnie is the cook, But Donnie, see what people maybe not understand, before I met Donnie, before I ever knew anything about him,
Yeah.
about him or anything.
Yeah. After you
I
came to
was
the Lord.
praying. After I came to the Lord, I was praying and asking God for qualities in a spouse. And I wrote down a list of like 44 things. And one of the things that I wrote down was somebody who could cook. And see, I was, Asperger's. My mom really didn't teach me how to cook. She would cook. And if you didn't like it, she wasn't running a restaurant. You either ate what she had or maybe you ate cereal or something instead. I don't know. And I don't remember now. But I, just didn't learn how to cook. And so I basically, survived on things like I could make a hamburger or
Beanie weenie.
beanie weenies. I could cook that kind of stuff. But I couldn't, I wasn't good with even making pasta. It would be mushy or it would be hard.
Right, because you didn't stay in the kitchen.
But you don't either. You don't stay in the kitchen either.
Yeah, well, I know what. I got an inside clock.
Yeah.
Okay, so my rock and my ledge is good. We're getting across the painting here. This is really turning out nice. I don't know if I want to give this one away.
So I put on my list of things to God that
And we recommend you do this too.
if you're not married, yeah.
Yep.
A man who can cook. I put on there a man who can cook. I want a husband that can cook. And don't you know, God brought me Donny. Donny was a cook in the Coast Guard. He was a restaurant cook. He worked at breakfast restaurants. He worked at, lunch and dinner restaurants. And then he cooked all day long for the Coast Guard, He was such a good cook that when he cooked for them once, they made him the permanent cook. Because he was a good cook, And when I tried to cook for him, he criticized my cooking. And so, because he's used to being, being a chef cook and knowing exactly it has, the way he wants it to taste and all this stuff, and I wasn't doing that. He wasn't into beanie weenies, So God sent me. That was an answer to my prayer, and so he's been the cook ever since. And he likes cooking,
I come home after working all day and start right in on cooking. I don't have a problem with it.
He enjoys the cooking.
I can paint all day and I can cook all day.
Now he does like to go out to a restaurant. That's why you see us go places and go to a restaurant. But I will vlog it, at least vlog a little bit of it, because at that point it becomes a tax deduction if I can vlog it. The price we pay for the meal, and around here meals are expensive, So, and at that point I learned from other YouTubers that if you put even a little bit of the vlog of the meal on your video, it becomes a tax deduction.
All right, so we got our trees. We're all fixed in here. Let's tap a few in here just for the heck of it. See what happens. Okay. So now I've got to move my chair.
So Donny sent me this, for those of you who just joined. Donny sent me this. He said, you must be okay with not being liked. No matter how loving you are, you can never people please into full acceptance, because you can be a ray of sunshine, and the people who choose to live like a rain cloud will dislike you. And then, so I added, so bring your umbrella and shine. Happy, smiling, laughing, regardless. So then I posted that and said, hey, my sunshiny friends. I said, let's just pray happiness on the
Yes, I've worked with many people that I would call Mr. Rain Cloud. They're usually supervisors.
And to be all honesty, Donny used to be a bah humbug person, right?
Well, you could say that.
Yeah. Well, he was. You were. He did not want being in the military.
If you let yourself be happy, then you can also let yourself be down.
Yeah.
So I would not let myself be happy.
He would not let himself be happy for the longest time. And he wanted, like, he didn't want to even celebrate Christmas or whatever, and that was my favorite, holiday, you know? And so he was like a downer when it came to that.
Yeah.
So I just had to work on him for that until now he loves it.
Yeah, it can't, can't be taken away. It can be taken away when you're in the military. They can just say, oh, sorry, no Christmas. And that's too bad. So we're looking for this color right here. Well, we're still
Grace
not.
said, Joy, you're very fortunate. Donny is very multi-talented. Yep. Amen. And I say all the
And she
time.
encourages me to be multi-talented too.
Yeah, I have encouraged him.
Oh, yes.
I have encouraged
When
him.
I couldn't do anything, well, Jesus could do it, and he lives in you, so you can do it. I heard that so much.
I motivated him.
You're not a carpenter. I'm not a carpenter. Oh, you got a carpenter in you. Oh, great. That's what I used to always hear. But I couldn't use that on her. I would say, okay, well, you got that in you. Jesus is in you. Oh, no, I'm Asperger's. I'm different. I couldn't get her to... It was funny. It's like, because you don't understand that when you're normal and you don't want to do something, you can do it.
I have to get past this bucket a minute here.
But when you're Asperger's and you can't do it, you can't do it. There isn't a point of, well, if you just try a little harder, you can do it.
It's neurological.
It's just, but that was hard for me to get, come on, you can do this. No, I can't. Yes, you can. Everybody can do this. No, I can't.
And with you, though,
And
it wasn't like a neurological...
right. With me, it's either,
was
damage
just
from childhood or something, but...
For you, it was building you up to the point where you could overcome your negative thinking about yourself.
Yeah, stuff like that. What she said. I like my little cave right here.
He used to think, too, that he was a jinx.
Yeah.
He would say that. Oh, so many, like, you wouldn't even imagine how much he said he was a jinx. And I would say, you're not a jinx, quit saying that.
And it's hard because, you go through your whole life being a jinx, but you're just jinxing yourself by saying you're a jinx. You're not really a jinx. And then because you say it, you end up making something happen. And I was the kind of person that would throw, when things got too good, I'd throw a wrench in it because I didn't want things to be too good. Because if things get too good, then they can go wrong. But if things are always going wrong, then they can only get better. And I lived that way. I didn't want to, live with the idea that things are going to, be okay. I just didn't do well with that. Well, that was good. That was good. We're adding a little extra color right there. Okay, so that's fixed. Now we got to get up into this forest over here. I think I've already used up my yellow. Let me see if I have to get some more out. There goes the cap. Wonderful. That was not in the plan. Okay, so we're fixing this line right here where another painting was sitting up against it and caught it. And it goes all the way up here. So I'm basically looking at, putting some green in there and putting some dark green in there. And so it's
Look out, Simon's move.
It's not what you think when it comes to living with someone that that isn't being lazy, they literally can't do it. And of course, that's why it's called a hidden disability. That's why. Because if you see somebody in a wheelchair, you see somebody with one arm walking up to a door, you have no issues with grabbing that door and opening it because here comes somebody with one arm. But if that person is Asperger's with an absolutely normal looking body, but yet they're mentally not able to open that door and they're just standing there, then you're like, what's the matter with you? Why can't you open this door? But it's the same type of weakness. It's the same weakness, but it's inside. You can't see it.
I think Mrs. Virginia wants to pay you $100 for that painting, Donny. She put that in the chat.
Oh, sweet. Now I really have to fix it.
Wait until he's done, Mrs.
Yeah, before. But you know, and Joy wants to say, well, I can't really sell a painting until I get more experience.
I don't mind if somebody offers you something, but we're not like trying to sell the paintings.
Yeah,
like,
it's not part.
We haven't been trying to sell the paintings.
Aha. There we go. Okay, I got it. All right. I think we're going to do a lighter purple up here, blue and white. So we'll see. Of course, if I take that tree up just a little higher through the ocean, I won't have to come up with the blue. Yeah, that's it. All right. And we do that, and then we come back.
Mrs. Virginia thought that little light streak was the light shining, but it was something got stuck to it and left a little white strip of paint or something on it, like the edge of a painting or something.
Yeah, the edge of another painting caught on this painting.
Got stuck to it.
Yeah.
And left a little white line.
Left,
so he's trying
left
to fix
trouble. That. So. Yep, and this all looks
That's
really good.
another reason why we try to often give away the paintings too.
Oh yeah, good point.
We can't leave them set around here.
They get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This RV is not big enough to leave paintings set around like that.
Well, painting? Oh, mister, there's not enough room in this RV for both of us paintings. You're gonna have to be given away. All right, so we've caught that up. Is there anything I could do down here?
He'll probably do some paintings for the 5,000 giveaway for Smoky Mountain Blessed.
And who in the chat right now was on a Friday?
And then he'll probably give away some paintings after he hits 1,000 on Storyteller Donny, this channel. He's got a ways to go to hit. Yeah,
that's not here anytime. That could happen quickly though. Is there anybody in the chat tonight that's been there on a Friday?
He did get some new subscribers from doing the Friday paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Marie said that she agrees it's a beautiful painting. Mrs. Virginia's saying it's looking perfect what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so that's good, that's good. It's not bad to have a tree that doesn't look like every other tree around it, I guess. Oh, just a little different tree right here than the other trees. Okay, now we got to build that up there. We've got to come up with this. That looks... All right, so we're going to grab... Isn't it fun to watch this happen? Well, I'll tell you, I am so amazed and so happy how things just come together. And I'm pretty much done with the finishing up with my Walmart paints.
He's got about a little over 600 hours to go for his watch hours. But then he's got his subscribers is 583, so he needs to get up to 1,000 on that, on his subscribers, to get the ad revenue.
So I'm mixing a little green and a little of the violet together. Green, little violet. I'm looking for the bottom of a distant mountain. So it's going to have to be lighter than that. Kind of like the misty trees, the misty mountains. Too far away. Okay, that looks good. So we're going to put these distant trees in there, cover up that next mistake. And of course, acrylic dries a little darker when it dries, so that's one of the reasons why I'm surprised how dark my paintings are, you know, because they look brighter when I'm originally painting them. All right. And then we'll put these up in here, right down in here. A couple lines of trees in the very distance. Oh, that looks wonderful. Boy, that really helps to put that little bit of distant green in there.
Mrs. Virginia said, "We are all begging for this one, LOL."
Well, we'll have to spin the wheel and put Mrs. Virginia's name on it in every spot.
Mrs. Marie wants to buy it though, I think.
Yeah. Well, then I have to quit messing with it too much here.
Mrs. Virginia said, "Thank you for the gift membership."
Oh, you're welcome. YouTube does that for me.
YouTube just randomly picks who gets a gift membership. It's not like, it's not up to us who gets those. Who like get just who they're distributed to.
Yeah, we can't pick it out either. We can't give one to somebody purposely, can we?
No.
Yeah.
Even though it says it was gifted by Storyteller Donny or something, it's actually YouTube that does it.
But we'll take the credit. You're welcome. Yeah, we did that. You're welcome. So,
And the gifted memberships by YouTube, no
No
channel,
cost.
no channel gets any money for that. That is a gift from YouTube. It's not. They don't pay the channels for those.
yeah, and after 1 month you can join.
If people pay for a membership, then the creator gets the money.
Yeah. I get a couple dollars because I have a couple of...
Charlie said, "What is a gift membership?" See up there where it says gifted, it says Storyteller Donny gifted 5 memberships. See where it says that, Charlie, at the top? It should say something about, I don't know exactly how it works, but I know if you click on something, you can make yourself so that you are able to receive a gift. You have to click on something that says that you're able to receive a gift, and that way, the next time there's a gifted membership, YouTube might pick your name as the person who receives the gift, and that way you can watch any kind of behind the scenes videos that they might have out, or anything they have for the thing. You have to opt in. Charlie says,
That's the word.
yeah, you have to opt in for it so that you make yourself eligible to receive the gift by YouTube.
I sure wish I could remember what blue I used. I usually have a little bit of turquoise, a little bit of blue.
So if you opt in, then you might be the next one for the gift.
Well, I sure appreciate you all being here tonight, being as I was running 15 minutes late and burning burgers on the grill. I appreciate you immensely for being patient, still coming by, checking back and seeing if I was there then. You could have gone on and watched something else.
Mrs. Virginia said in 1 week she was gifted 7 to 10 memberships. Yeah, because she opted in. Mrs. Virginia opted in for receiving gifts, so then you can end up getting gifts from many channels at that point.
There it is. Okay, it looks like we may have found our blue. I'm kind of looking for the horizon here, and I'm trying to get the ocean to separate from the sky. That's pretty close.
Hi, Suzanne.
You see how that, maybe I can push that up a little higher, like that. There, that kind of gives you the ocean and sky thing. That looks good. Thank you, Lord, I needed that. And then, oh, it's not dark enough.
Annette, thanks for joining us. She's got to say goodnight. It's time for her to
Good night.
rest because she has to go to work tomorrow.
Yep, I just didn't like that coastline. I didn't like the way that looked.
Hi, Janelle. Janelle, she was gifted.
Janelle.
Janelle was gifted a membership, and then she turned around and gifted somebody else a membership.
Is that a Janelle that we knew before? That used to visit us?
So thank you for the gift membership.
Wonderful. Thank you, Janelle. Very sweet. Givers. We have givers in our midst. They are givers. All right. So now we're working on our sky, seeing if we can get our sky to
And I think
be repaired.
when someone purchases a gift and gives it to someone else, I think that's when it goes to Donny's account. Because it wasn't gifted by YouTube, it was gifted by someone else to and it's random. Like Janelle couldn't pick the person she wanted to gift it to. YouTube picks that person randomly, but Janelle
She
gifted-
bought a gift certificate for somebody else to watch my channel?
Yes.
Wow. I haven't even done that for me or you. Oh, I feel bad now. Have I?
Well,
I don't think I've ever gifted anybody
the
to
thing
you.
of it is YouTube doesn't really give you a choice on the amount of the gift either. Like Donny's starts at like $1. If I could give 5 gifts away, that would be $5. I would do that. But YouTube has their own way of doing it, so they have to pay $5 for one instead of give away 5 gifts for $1 each. You know what I mean? I wish they would do it differently, but that's their choice. I don't pick the way they do it. I wish I could pick the way they do it. They do it their own individual way.
So we're just about got that sky fixed. Look at that. Did I fix the sky or
Well,
what?
he said, I've got to get my shower and ready for bed, y'all. Have a wonderful evening. That's beautiful, Donny.
Thank you so much.
Suzanne said, that's very kind of you, Janelle.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you for sharing.
Hi, Ruby. Rushing Wind Mountain. She said, I just finished the thank you video for
She
Donny.
did.
Oh, yay.
I can't wait to see the comparison of her mountains and my painting. Oh,
Donny is so excited to be able to see that.
it's going to be so good. I can't wait. She's making me wait.
We'll share that out, too. We'll share it out on, we'll try to share it out on this channel, Storyteller Donny, and on my channel as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting a few off-color clouds here.
Janelle said, I just love this channel. Thank you so much. That's so sweet.
Oh, so sweet. You know, I just only been doing this for a little while. This is not something I've done my whole life. I've painted my whole life. I did do paint by numbers when I was in high school. I did a Last Supper. Didn't everybody? Everybody did at least half of the Last Supper. And a couple black velvets. I've got pictures of the ones I did in an album somewhere.
Hey, Joe.
That'll be interesting.
Joe was gifted a membership. Joe Hupp from
Joe Hupp.
Australia.
Up, 2, 3, 4. We know a Joe Hupp. Thank you. I'm so glad. All right.
Mrs. Virginia said, as much as I would love the painting, you should let Marie purchase it. And Joe said, and Donny.
Tell you what, the first check that reaches me gets it, but I keep both checks.
Oh, he's kidding.
I just thought of that. I have not been thinking of that for a long time. I was just.
He's a joker. See, sometimes people don't understand.
That was funny.
His humor. His humor can be like, I have told him sometimes, like, be careful with your joking, because some people.
Well, I have gotten out
there's
of the
people out there
military.
that would take it seriously.
Yes, and I have been terribly mistaken, you know, when it comes to military jokes. Yeah. There are.
Oh, that's sweet, Joe. He said Donny gifted me the membership. Very cool, considering it was my birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Joe.
All right. Happy birthday,
Let's
Joe.
sing happy
Huh.
birthday to him.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Joe Hupp. Happy birthday to you. And many more go out the door. When in store.
One of these days we'll have to check into what it costs to mail overseas, because he's in Australia, And if it's not like outrageously expensive to ship something, you know.
Yeah. So we're just putting catch a little light on these mountains here.
Everybody's wishing Joe a happy birthday.
You're only 364th older than yesterday. Keep that in mind.
Joe said thank you,
boy.
Joy and Donny.
Well, that's wonderful. I tell you, Joe, I've been to Australia.
That's the cat.
I've been to the Gold Coast. Oh, okay.
She must have a hairball or something.
Yeah, she's doing the hairball thing. So I've been to the Gold Coast, and I've been to Christchurch in New Zealand, and I've been to Brisbane. And when I was in the Coast Guard, I was on an icebreaker, and we stopped there on the way to the South Pole. And that was 1980, by the way. And I experienced something that I later heard in the news and understood. It's like, so I was with some guys, and they were driving down this road in Australia. And there were trees on both sides of the road. And it was like, after we drove about a mile, we were mesmerized. Everybody in the car was just kind of staring. And the driver, at the last second, hit the brakes and hit somebody in front of us. But none of us yelled. None of us said, "Hey, look out." And I never could understand why we just drove right into the back of that car. Well, years later, I had heard that in America this happened, and they made a law that you can't plant trees or poles or anything exactly the same distance apart, because the drivers are mesmerized and put into a trance, like, what's that, the hypnotism. And all of a sudden, I was thinking, it was like that. When I was in Australia, we were in this car, and it was like the trees were going by perfectly, methodically, boom, 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 boom. And the next thing you know, we hit somebody, and nobody could figure out what happened. It was weird, but now I know why. I know why that happened. Isn't that something? That you actually...
It depends on the size of the parcel package and what it costs. And Mrs. Virginia said that she had received a coin from Australia, and the YouTuber paid $21 American dollars for a small lightweight package to be shipped to her.
Yeah,
you can do
it's a long way to go.
Can you do pirate ship over into other countries, or is it only America?
Well, I would have to get on the app and find out.
Joe said, yeah, people don't concentrate when that happens, that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah. And I thought, isn't that interesting that they actually figured it out, that you cannot put things evenly placed next to a road. I really thought that was cool.
Mrs. Virginia said it was coins and stickers. A coin and stickers in that package.
Ah, from a YouTuber. Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, Joe said back in 2021, he sent a parcel to Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada from Australia, and it cost him $67.20.
I just happened to have been to Halifax, too.
Hi, Smoky Mountain Man. He said he just got home from Bible class. Oh, and prayers out to Scott and Tara tonight, because they said possibly, their news told them possibly tornado warnings or tornado watch for this evening.
Well, that's our first fixed painting. We'll jump into another one here in a second.
Or you could just,
Oh, we could just cut it short, huh?
because it's,
All right.
it's 10 o'clock.
It's what?
Yeah.
Oh my. Well, good night, good night, good night.
He started late because he worked
How could it be
late.
10 o'clock when I
Because
started
you-
at 8?
No, you didn't start at 8.
Well,
because
8:15.
No, I don't think you started till after 8:30.
Oh my, okay.
Because he was working
Yep,
at the
I was
campground.
working and came home and started dinner.
And then he came back and started his grill, so he wanted to cook out. Hi, Rhonda Gale.
And,
And so,
well, oh, blow me down. Ugh, 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 ugh.
so if Mrs.
Well, thank you very much. This worked out good then. This worked out very
so if Mrs.
good.
Marie wants this painting,
All right, Mrs.
let
Marie.
us know.
You are welcome. I have not worked lately, so I appreciate the extra help. That'd be great. I would appreciate it.
Smoky Mountains man said, "Well, I'm glad you started late because then I got to be in here a little bit that way."
And I have
We
I have
appreciate you
CashApp,
popping
I have PayPal, and I have CashApp, and we can. I think the PayPal is actually connected to our channels. We actually have a PayPal. Connected to our channel.
And so those who, hi Jam, how are you? Those who came in here late, I posted on Smoky Mountain Blessed, what is it called? Community tab thing that, and Rushing Wind said, me too, glad I caught you guys. I posted on there because Donny and I went and I over to this home and property we were looking at, and the Mrs. Marie has Venmo. Donny, do you have Venmo?
No, I have Zelle.
He has Venmo's probably a free app. Maybe you can download it. I've heard other people using it. So we went and checked on this property, and it was a beautiful property, and we put a bid on it, which was several thousand more than what the bank was asking for it, because it was bank owned. And the lady who owned it, she lost it in a foreclosure, but she was trying to get it back, so she was having all of her family go together and bid on it to try to win the house back. So we don't know if that bid was over our bid, but there was one bid over our bid. So the bank is trying to work out the details with that bid higher than what our bid was. And then they said if that doesn't work, if they don't work it out with that person,
They will contact our agent.
our real estate agent. So we must be the next bid
Yeah.
on it.
That would be nice.
So, and if that's not the one that God has for us, then just pray
We're
that
okay with that too.
that God provides us, because we got our hopes up on.
Oh, we
having
dreamed.
something
We
nice.
had that thing rehabbed already before we left. We had a new deck on it. We had a couple tiny houses in there. We had the driveway in there. We
We
had
have
a garage awning put on.
We have a big imagination.
Oh yeah, we had things go. A path. We already had a path smoothed out around the entire property for Joy to walk and enjoy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna do another painting though, but I've got too much paint on my board and I don't want to see it go to waste.
Yeah, so he's going to end this, and then what we'll do is we'll record when he does the next fix, and we'll post it to the members page, so that the members can see the next painting.
Uh-huh. Okay, we'll do that. Members page. What's that? One
And
person?
and-
That's one person, right?
No, you've got several members.
I got.
don't know how many.
Oh, okay.
But he's going to be doing some paintings so that we can give them away on the 5,000 giveaway too, because it's I've been buying different things, for giveaways, various different kinds of things as well, because I wanted to just, you know, have things and stuff like that.
Yep. All right. So
So
remember, we love
love
you,
you,
but
that
Jesus loves you more. So good to see you. Thanks for being with me. And good night, good night, good night.